allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We are the mob. M to the O-B. Memphis over Bull Live every Wednesday evening. All right? Got a great show coming up. Today we're going to discuss all the current events, ones that we feel are relevant to us, ones that we can get to. Right? Got Kyle Rittenhouse coming to Memphis on an invitation. Right? We also have police shooting situations gotten pretty controversial, right? With Jerome Key, right? He has his stance. He has made his court appearance. We'll touch on that. And I want to know one thing. Who your drug dealer? Not your drug dealer, but who's your dope dealer, right? Dope man. I explain this and more. Layers to that, right? Mom tonight. Well, let's get to this intro. Kick it. You got to love the intro. Love our city. You gotta love that, right? All right. Chat mob. Am I clear? Before we get into this, man, we want to allow everyone to come in. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. All right? Subscribe if you cool with us. If you cool with us. You know what I mean? All right, so yeah, lots of things happening. Those of you who don't know, we don't report the negativity in the city. I know you all, you have many places where you can find that. We do things a little different here. It's all about Memphis. It's all about you. You are Memphis, right? The Memphians, the people who make this city. Not for everybody else, but even those who aren't from Memphis do tune in. And it can be beneficial to those as well. Right? Now, I want to allow everyone to come in, gather in first. However many we may have here live with us. I got the call. Let me close it up. We ain't got the phone. The phone lines will be open very shortly because I definitely want to hear some feedback on the Kyle Rittenhouse story, but mostly the Geronimo Key. So, because it's some things that he said in court, I'm curious about because I've always heard these things, right? Get a dog, y'all. It's just part of the business. But yeah, he said some things I've heard before, and I've always wondered how they would work in court if said in a courtroom setting, right? We already know, your rights. He seemed like he was informed of some things, or was he? That's what I need the chat mod to holler at me about. We have some people that specialize in this to come through from time to time, but we'll get to that. But first off, right, you all know we've had many lessons on it, right? Check out previous, episodes if you don't know about the domino effect, right? Right? How simple dominoes is to some, how complicated it can be when you understand the layers, right? I know y'all miss me, man. I miss y'all.
I miss you like a hog miss fly.
Every Wednesday. Chat Ma, what it is. So yeah, you all know domino effect. Also, it's a battle for energy, right? MLG and W versus mind, body, and energy. We're gonna go back over these things, right? Before we get to the local stories that happen, because it's all about us rebuilding us. We make up the city, like I said. Common grounds. All of these things are gonna be relevant to what we're talking about today, right? Right? So now, here's the question. Who is your dope dealer? Y'all hear how I said that? Who is that dope dealer?
Who this nigga on that nag?
All right. So hear me out, right? Dope. That word, it's a negative word, right? Or start out being a negative, right? Meant drugs. Code word for drugs. Or street word slang for drugs, right? Hard drugs. You know, that dope, right? And you know, in our culture, we take negative things and we make positive things out of it. We take lemons and make lemonade, right? Turnip greens, and now you got everybody in the store lines eating greens. It's a culture thing with us. What we known for doing. But dope. Just like we got vibes. These are abbreviations of more meaningful terms, should I say, right? Vibe, vibrations, right? We also have dope. Dope being short for dopamine, right? All right. Dopamine is the chemical that the brain produces when you're doing something very pleasurable, something you enjoy, or eating something that you enjoy a lot of, just doing something, viewing something, right? Right? Right. Dopamine, right? So those who use this term, we always talk about the language, right? So dopamines can be produced from several things. But it is the same equivalent as to doing a hard drug. Dope. You have social media, you have gambling addiction, you have sexual addiction, you have every kind of addiction, everything that controls you produces dopamine, right? In the mind. So who is your dope dealer? What creates the dopamine chemicals in your mind? You see, we come up with these terms that were given to us. The language was given to us, already knowing what dope is. Trust me, those who use this term so often don't even understand the root meaning of it. I guarantee you, those who use dope, like myself, I'm speaking to myself about myself. I had no idea that dope was short for dopamine. Right? We know about serotonin. They know about that too, but dope. Let's stick to dope, right? So, dopamine, right? I got a clip to share with y'all too. Before we get to the local stuff, it's way deeper than that. Anyway, I digress. Dopamine. So, whatever makes you happy, whatever controls you, whatever makes your heart pump, whatever makes you smile, however simple that is, produces dopamine, right? The dope. So, I'm here to tell you, if that is anything that is not self-produced, love, or it's family and yourself, ultimately you, right? You're no good to any family, you're no good to yourself. But if you can't have self-produced dopamine in your mind, if you can't be your own dope dealer, if knowledge gets you going, right? That's a whole nother addiction. Some people are addicted. They already understand these things. That's what I was talking about, the algorithm. Anyway, go back to this. I want to share this video because I'm better explain it, right? Look at this before we started too, though. Dopamine, motivation, rewards, euphoria, right? The feel-good factor. You all thought dope was just heroin, cocaine, and pen and whatever you want to call it, right? No, 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 no. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. Anything could be dope. Video games are dope, right? Anyway, I say this, I could come back to it after this video.
We all have our little vices, things we can't help doing, even when we know we probably shouldn't. Maybe it's a weakness for fast food, staying out with friends later than you planned, or a tendency to watch just one more episode before going to bed. We often think of these as guilty pleasures, or even failures of willpower, but they might be better seen as something more basic. The results of an essential evolutionary process, and in particular, one extraordinarily powerful chemical, dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, a chemical certain brain cells use to communicate with each other. The brain has dozens of these, but dopamine plays a special role in motivating our behavior, something it's able to do simply because it makes us feel really good. We've evolved to receive hits of dopamine for things that will help ensure our survival, making us want to repeat whatever action triggered its release. Found some high-energy food? Great! Starvation averted.
All right. All right, so as you can see, they use the example. It is a video game, right? So it's already understood that dopamine are highly produced by video games. I know this from experience. We all enjoy it, right? But if we have an understanding of what they were, we're like, no, I'm not doing anything. How is this harming me? How could this harm me? I'm not doing any drugs. I'm just enjoying myself. They'll explain what's really going on. You'll love this. This is relevant to Memphis, by the way, because if our people in Memphis understood this and if they had more control of their dopamine addiction, because you can't control it, you kind of see what we have. Think about
it. Come back for more tomorrow. Made a friend? Fantastic. Making us want to repeat whatever action triggered its release. Found some high-energy food? Great! Starvation averted. Come back for more tomorrow. Made a friend? Fantastic. There's safety in numbers. Do it again. Heard a captivating story? Awesome. You've learned something about how the world works. Keep listening. Each of these
Okay, did you hear that though, right? 3 different versions of dopamine addiction. Just example, there are hundreds, thousands of them that produce the chemical. These are more what society produces and pushes on us, right? So you got food, you have people watching something, you have those who learn new things, right? Learning about the world produces dopamine. So that's why I'm asking you, who's your dopamine dealer? You control that. Is it a video game? Is it a drug? Is it information? Do you like the mob? Or do you like the other podcasts? Which of these shows produces dopamine chemicals in your mind? Tell me. Is it the show showing fighting and negativity? Or is it the show about positivity and trying to uplift yourself and your own? I wonder. Depends on the individual, right? Says a lot about you depending on who your dealer is. They call me dope man. Y'all don't understand that.
Experiences causes a dopamine spike, building positive associations and shaping our habits and desires. The problem is that evolution is very slow, and this whole motivation and reward system developed over millions of years when food, friends, and fables were relatively scarce. But all that's changed in an evolutionary millisecond, and our brains haven't begun to catch up. Instead of hunting and gathering, there's fast food. Instead of small tribes, worldwide social media networks. Instead of tales around the campfire, on-demand TV with seemingly infinite content. This surplus of everything nature.
Right. So now everything is in microwave era, right? That quickly produce everything. No more stories around the campfire. You got 1,500 stations, right? Right? Food is easily accessible, right? So all of these things are now being abused, right, in the mind. So dopamine is just easily produced. Now, you're a dope head. You're a dope head, brother, sister. that logo, that show that you binge watch. Now, here's the thing. You know, I know that we of this. We out here. Yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying don't do it at all. Moderation. Everything in moderation. Having an understanding of what you're doing. You know about dopamines. Now, you can't be fooled with that dope that they push. Right? Right? That dope.
Dope out your vein and hope in your brain. You'll never get nowhere smoking the pipe.
Yeah, I'm on one tonight, y'all. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, right?
Has programmed us to crave pushes our dopamine circuits into overdrive. And as a result, snacking, scrolling, and streaming, as we probably all experienced, can become habits bordering on addictions. But
see what I mean? See what I mean? Same kind of addictions come from doing that dope. Social media, all these things that we think just, part of life now.
these habits aren't just unfortunate byproducts of our evolution, they're also the outcome of deliberate design. Whether companies sell hamburgers or advertising spots, to maximize their profits, they need loyal customers. And one way of getting them is to hotwire people's neurons to keep them coming back. Fast food chains have been at it for decades, but more recently, another sector has been getting in on the action, the tech industry. As if to show just how blatant this can be, Nir Eyal's 2014 book Hook.
So let me break that down. So this thinking, right, with the algorithm and the dopamines, it started with the fast food chains, right? McDonald's, Burger King, they were like, all right, we understand. Bite this fry, right? They understand that dopamine comes, well, okay, we gave you a natural potato. We gave you this unnatural potato that we made to cater to your dopamine addiction. So when you eat it, it's like, oh, okay, I don't even want the natural potato anymore. This McDonald's golden fried, so delicious. Produced so many dopamine chemicals right in the mind. You're a dope head, right? But I'm a dope dealer too, right? I'm the dope man because dopamines that come from here, education. Because right now, many of you that are listening who rock with this kind of information, dopamines are being produced in your mind right now. Anyway, check this out though. The information was made for good only when this was happening. When this understanding came about, it was like only to be used to help people. It didn't happen, right? Keep this.
Hooked is explicitly pitched as a guide to designing habit-forming products. What he calls the hooked cycle has 4 stages. First, a trigger, such as an email or notification, gives you
Notification, the trigger. Ding! Whatever, hey, bro. Hey, you have a new friend. Hey, you have someone's online, right? Hey, the mob is live. I'm a part of it. But we're giving you an education, giving you an understanding of it. We're not here to take advantage of it, right? Unlike others. Keep that in mind. But anyway, it starts with the trigger.
a nudge, prompting the action of logging in and using the service, which provides what Eyal calls a variable reward. And this is where the neuroscience kicks in. You see, dopamine surges after unexpected rewards and gets weaker when things are more predictable.
Right, so you have to keep it exciting. Every day is something new. Oh, did you see this online? Wow, somebody. You thought you were doing it on your own. Nah, bro, that was already set up to you. That was already being dealt to you by the dealer, by the dope dealer. And we're going to get to how this really affects our community, because we love that word dope, and I'll tell you why we love it so much.
The promise of new posts, episodes, and other goodies renews the novelty factor and the neurological response. The final stage in the hooked cycle is investment. The more time, effort, data, or even money you put into the service, the more reason you'll have to use it again. This cycle can be reinitiated anytime a developer likes, simply by sending you a notification. But soon enough, those external triggers won't even be necessary. Once a habit has formed, your brain will provide the triggers itself. In fairness, Eyal says his model should only be used to build products that help people form good habits, like exercising. More recently,
Right. You see that? Right? It was supposed to only help people build good habits, like exercise, right? Let's try to change. Let's try to help people. No. Let's use this information to make more dope heads. That's what we're dealing with right now. Right?
Is written about how to be indistractable. And this is part of a larger trend.
Oh, wait a minute. Indistractable. I know my fat. Bro, this is what I'm saying. Everything's full circle, y'all. All right, what did I say on so many episodes? Anything that takes you away from yourself, that distracts you from bettering you, is the devil. Anything that distracts you from your happiness, you doing what you gotta do for you, is the devil. It ain't no damn school of Satan, no damn bull like the bull on the mob right here. That's not the devil, bro. That's you, right? So you being distracted, anything that distracts you from your journey, right? So he wrote this, Understanding Dopamines, and he made an article, wrote it, he entitled it Indistractable, because that makes you invincible. Let the church say amen.
Get dope out your vein and hope in your brain. You'll never get nowhere smoking the pipe.
With companies like Apple adding features such as time limits on apps to help people try and break the loop. But it seems reasonable to be wary of solutions offered up by the same companies who benefit from creating the problem in the first place. So, how can we get ourselves unhooked? The key to this lies in recognizing the hooked cycle and dismantling.
Right. Knowing is half the battle, right? That's how you get unhooked. Knowing what it is, right? Investment, variable reward, action, trigger. You know all of these things now. Those of you who are listening now, how many? It could be one person that gets this, that didn't know this, that changes going forward. They could change everything because that one person is me. And that one person is you, right? We're all that one person that can change things for ourselves. Awesome. Let me get back to this, though. Knowing half the battle.
Step by step. First, preparation trumps willpower. So rather than trying to ignore triggers, remove them by changing settings to receive fewer notifications and reorganizing your home screen to make tempting apps less visible, or deleting them altogether. Second, plan alternative actions.
All right. So we'll get back to that, right? That was enough. Now, I ask again, right? Who is your dope dealer? It should be your home, your family, those who you're around. You should be producing dopamines wherever you are. It should be you, ultimately. Like I said, you. Right? So, also, to bring it even more full circle, to our community, we always call the drug dealers the dope boys, right? So without an understanding that you're saying they're dopamine boys, dopamine dealers, right? Because they're selling something that kicks off so many dopamine. That's what everyone that's addicted to different drugs, just high levels of dopamine, right? So dope dealers. Also, when we see something, like I said, we always want to take lemons and make lemonade, right? When we see something we like, call it fresh, and that's dope. Damn, that's dope. Because it produces high level of dopamines when we see it. We enjoy it. That's nice. That's a dope thing. Right? Everything. The language that we were given, already understood. This is everyone who uses this who doesn't really understand. The language that we were given, brother. You gotta get an understanding. Right? All right. So, just thought I'd start with that, bro. I had to give it to my people. Like I said, I had to give it to myself. I gotta watch my dopamine levels too, right? I ain't trying to be no dope. I understand that, hey, bro, how delicious that whatever McDonald's is selling is. And I ain't nasty. If it was disgusting, the line wouldn't be wrapped around the street, bro. Right? Whatever drug that someone's addicted to, it ain't that bad. If they keep doing it, right? It's producing high levels of something. So just be wary of that before you do things, right? Understand that many of these things were already set up for you to be a dope head. They call me dope man, but come here and see me for that good peer dopamines, right? All right, so I said this to say this. Kyle Rittenhouse, right? We're gonna open up the phone lines after this. Kyle Rittenhouse. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember him? Shot, 4 people? Killed 2, I believe, in the Black Lives Matter protests. He was protecting some kind of business or something, he said, from protesters. Anyway, he got hired to come and speak at the University of Memphis, right? Everyone so pissed about that. But you understand about energy, right? Stealing your energy, bro. What are we giving our energy to? Who are we giving our energy to, right? Who cares about Kyle Rittenhouse? Well, I'll play the video, but please understand that things are always going to happen. That has nothing to do with you and I, right? Doing what we need. We just told you that be indistractable. That makes you invincible, right? Because things like this are always going to happen. Touch on it more as we play the story.
The 10 tonight, a guest speaker at the University of Memphis has some people upset tonight, and not just students, but others as well. Kyle Rittenhouse is the man who shot 3 other men, killing 2 during a Black Lives Matter protest in Wisconsin in 2020 when he was only 17 years old. He was later acquitted, claiming he acted in self-defense.
On March 20th, he was scheduled to appear at the University of Memphis. WREG's Ashley Paul joins us now live. And Ashley, this has some people agitated.
Kyle Rittenhouse was invited to speak here at the University of Memphis by the campus organization Turning Point USA, but that appearance has sparked some controversy and an online protest calling for some students to ask for tickets, sign up for the event, but not actually show up.
Go home, Kyle. We don't want you here.
Some University of Memphis students we spoke with are outraged after learning Kyle Rittenhouse will be making a guest appearance at their school.
This is clearly...
You see what I mean? It takes so much energy to be upset. I mean, it takes so much. I think it takes more energy to destroy something than it does to build it, right? Why not focus your energy on something else? This was created. He was invited to be a distraction in the first place, y'all. We all know that they put him on a whole tour around the country. Same thing with Zimmerman. Who cares? You like to care because you're a dope head and you like to get these dopamines from these negative stories of these people that's seeking attention. And you give it to them. You give them your energy. It's all about stealing energy, stolen energy. We're going to get to that too, right? I don't want to hit y'all too much right now, but that's always the key, bro. That's what I mean about being a distraction. Being indistractable, they can't steal your energy. That's the whole thing about it. This, I'm not giving my energy to this. I'm giving my energy to this. What we got going on, right?
An event that's here to incite anger amongst a predominantly black college in a predominantly black city.
Rittenhouse.
He said it. That's obvious. How else would you invite him to the University of Memphis?
Rittenhouse fatally shot 2 men during a protest for Jacob Blake, a black man killed by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin in 2020. Rittenhouse traveled 20 miles from his home in Antioch, Illinois to the Kenosha protest armed with an AR-15 style weapon. He testified he'd been hired to protect a car lot from protesters. He was then acquitted by a jury, claiming self-defense. The ruling was highly controversial.
He is a part of our history now, believe it or not.
Representative Antonio Parkinson says even if students don't like...
Y'all know I fools with that, brother, right? Antonio Parkinson, he be saying some real, like, barbershop, what the brothers really be saying, like, on the news. Fools with him, right?
They need to take this as a learning experience, arguing First Amendment rights must be upheld.
Just as we allow Rittenhouse here, other what would be deemed controversial speakers, maybe those that may be African American or others, should be allowed as well.
You hear that? So if you're that upset about Rittenhouse being invited, right? Why not invite Farrakhan if you want to, balance things out? Or get 19 keys or somebody, right? They'll come, pay them. They got a budget for it. But don't get upset. Exercise your right. See, we lack knowledge. We lack an understanding. So it's just already, hey, bro, I just want your image. You can do the same thing. That's what he said in the video. We always want to complain about somebody else doing something that we're able to do. And just exercise your rights. Understand them and use them. Or be quiet, bro. Move on. You're not going to change people doing what they want to do or exercising their rights. That's his journey. All I'm saying.
In a statement, the U of M says the event is not sponsored by the university. It's hosted by the student organization Turning Point USA, which has sponsored other Rittenhouse events across the country. The university adds, quote, under the First Amendment and Tennessee's Campus Free Speech Act, the University of
Turning Point USA. I'm going to show y'all something.
Memphis cannot legally prohibit such events from being hosted by a registered student organization, end quote. In the meantime, many students are getting tickets to the free event with no plans to actually attend.
I say that's a great strategy. I say do it. Buy the tickets up and let them speak to an empty audience.
Now, I usually agree with him, but I'm like, why you care that much that you're going to buy tickets for him and not show up? I wouldn't care. If that was me speaking at that event, you bought all those tickets up. Holidays come to talk. And I'm doing the mob live, right? Somewhere. You buy all the tickets up. Come, money's made, bro. I don't care nothing about that.
We're coming to get our check.
That's all we coming for. What is you talking about? I don't care nothing about that. He still did what he had to do. You ain't stopped nothing. That's crazy to me, brother. Like, buy all the tickets up. Yeah, we're going to support him so much that he won't know what to do. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Just how about pay him no attention? How about that?
I will be happy. I'll be giddy. I'll probably crack a beer, pour one out for the victim, and enjoy it.
Now, the event is scheduled to happen on March 20th. We reached out to Turning Point USA for comment, but they have yet to respond. For now, reporting live at the University of Memphis, I'm Ashley Paul, WREG News, Channel 3.
All right, so I want to show y'all. Let's go to the browser, right? And they said it was sponsored by, that's Kyle Rittenhouse. I want to look this up. Turning Point USA, right? This is what I do. Show you all how I do things right? I'm gonna read some chat mod statements. So Turning Point. All right. Gotta check this out. What are they on? This is how you find out things. This is how we research things. We find things out. Oh, news will drop a name, but they won't really tell you anything more about it. Our mission and our founder. Check this. I should have went to, maybe we should. Let's go to the mission. All right. What are they? Got the good old George Washington. Is that George Washington? All right. To educate students about the importance of freedom, free markets, and limited government, innovative marketing techniques, and strategic outreach methods, the TPUSA has experienced our presence to include 3,500 high school and college campuses nationwide. All right. So how are you going to stop that anyway, bro? They got 3,500 high schools and colleges nationwide, right? Identify student activists across the country who believe in limited government and individual liberty. The good old boy. Okay. See, I mean, it don't take much. I already understand. I know what's up with that now. I just want to look at one thing before we get to the next story. We got to get to the Geronimo Key. Look, hey, I'm getting dopamines right now. I'm getting that dope. I love information. That's what I get my dope. That's what I'm looking. Who's the founder? Because I know what you are. This is the founder. Okay. I'll say this for a later read. Y'all probably, I don't want to bore y'all too much. That boy's name is Charlie, huh? All right. But yeah. Anyway, what are we giving our energy to? Chat Mob says the energy flows wherever attention goes. Facts. Big old fact, right? Right?
Get dope out your veins and hope in your brain.
Get that dope out your veins, bro. Right? That attention, energy, whatever you're paying attention to, right? Take it. You watching sports all day, hey, bro, somebody's benefiting out that energy. It takes energy to do anything that's worth something. That's why, you know what the most valuable resource is on the planet? Human. Why you have the human resource department. Because they're so valuable to every company. Make unlimited amounts of money off a dumbass human who's hooked on that dope if you are the dealer. All right. So if we're getting a little late, I don't want to hold y'all too much. All right? Had to do that. Let's get to this. Geronimo Key. I want y'all to watch this because he said some things, right? And like I said, I always wonder about our educated brothers and sisters who understand the laws. And I remember this video was about sister. She had her kids in the car and she was in the apartment. Police came in unlawfully is what she said, right? She had a shotgun out and they were like, she barricaded the apartment. They ended up killing her. And they had another video of her getting pulled off. I cannot remember her name though. Somebody chat my holler me if y'all remember that. Light-skinned sister. Anyway. Let's check this out. Geronimo Key. This is a two-part story.
And another big story we're following, bizarre behavior in court this morning led to a mental evaluation order for the man charged with shooting a Memphis police lieutenant during a traffic stop on Friday.
In fact, the judge telling Geronimo Key he was speaking, quote, nonsense during his first time to appear in court since being charged Friday. It was an abbreviated arraignment, as the judge said it was tough trying to make sense of what Key was saying. WRAG's Jarita Patterson takes us inside the courtroom.
Flanked by security, Geronimo Key was escorted into court Monday morning after each of his 3 felony charges and 1 misdemeanor offense was read aloud. The judge asked a simple question, expecting a simple response.
Are you going to be able to make your bond?
All criminal cases, all commercial. Let the record show that.
Right? This is what I'm saying. Explain this to me. We're going to get to it, right? The language he's speaking.
I'm not sure what the record's showing, but okay.
Key's behavior growing more and more bizarre with every question asked.
Are you able to make your $175,000 bond?
The county's holding me without.
The country's holding me without my will, against my will. They took me.
Against my will. They took my the county holding me against my will. Coercion, assault, and torture. They have forced my fingerprint and intake and process.
I'm sure they are holding you against your will. I'm asking if you're able to make your bond.
After more of what the judge deemed as incomprehensible.
That sentence doesn't even make sense.
I am not.
All criminal cases are commercial?
I am not artificial.
You mean like a TV commercial?
This is, even if the judge understood what he was saying, right? Can he play his card, right? This is my question. I've always wondered that. And I understand what position he's in. They ain't felt like he was running from the police officer. It's all alleged. He allegedly shot, right? They deem him guilty. That's how they feel. You know how the court system goes, right? But I'm more about what he's saying. Had this not been a situation, is what he's saying valid? That's the question. For someone else in another situation, not the exact situation, could they use this? Is he expressing his rights? You know, it's just what I want to know. Because the judge heard him say this and said, hey, bro, I'm going to deem you crazy. Get a mental evaluation. So can they play this? I'm asking, if you do know the law on another level, on a higher level, right? You're speaking jargon, right? Law language. You understand it. Can the judge, knowing that you've gone above and beyond, can the judge say, hey, man, you talking crazy. Do you have an attorney? And you hit him back like, no, I don't need an attorney with the blah, 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 bam, bam. He comes back like, hey, get him mentally evaluated. Because he's crazy. He obviously doesn't understand me. But he really does. That's my question. Because you're speaking in the language.
Subject to maritime law.
Maritime law? Are we on a ship?
The arraignment was cut short as the court ordered an assessment from a mental health professional.
He's speaking nonsense. Can you fill out a mental evaluation form for me?
Key, still mumbling, was escorted out. The 22-year-old is accused of shooting Memphis Police Lieutenant Bobby Johnson early Friday morning during a traffic stop. This sparked a manhunt as detectives say Key went on the run. 3 of the 4 charged with helping Key following the attack: his sister Zaire Key, his mother Tazari Pennington, and this man Malik Oliver also faced the judge Monday and were ordered back to court April 8th with an attorney.
That mental evaluation and Key are expected back in court March 25th. We'll be there as well. Reporting inside the CJC, Jarita Patterson, WREG, News Channel 3.
You see what I mean, though? Like, that is it. Let me go to these. I gotta go to the chat mob on these because, like I said, yeah, many here, many educated brothers. He says he's trying to challenge the court's jurisdiction to prosecute under maritime law. Is that maritime law? Which is the law of the sea, right? He's trying to attach himself to the Constitution. He also said he and his family have a tough battle ahead. Right. Right. But I'm not really using this for this case, right? Could this work in another case that's under different circumstances? If the police, should they take it? Okay, gotcha. Okay. Let's go to the next one because there's a full video. That was an edited video that they played first, right? There are other details. Also, they took his bond up to $500,000 from $175,000. That just happened like a couple of hours ago. I mean, no point reporting that. Right, he did, and it sounds like he's trying to claim that he's a sovereign citizen. That's what they claim. Now, think about being a sovereign citizen, though, right? On the video, YouTube tagged that he is claiming to be a sovereign citizen, and Wikipedia attached their definition of what the sovereign citizen movement is. All right, the sovereign citizen movement, according to Wikipedia, is a loose group of anti-government activists, litigants, tax protesters, that's tough, financial scammers, and conspiracy theorists based mainly in the United States, right? Somebody help me with that. Is that not a very loose definition? They use the word loose first. Citizen movement is a loose group of anti-government activists. And they attached this to the video, those who didn't understand what the sovereign citizen movement was. All right, so yeah, that is true. Good point on that, you are. Good point. All right, answer the phone line. Yo, you are live on the mob.
Peace, peace.
What's up, brother? What's up, brother? You good and clear today. You good and clear today, right?
Yes, sir, man. Great show, great show. Excited, man. Let's get into it. I just wanted to say, do you have a question first before I kind of make a comment?
You know how we rock. You know how we get down. You already saw what I was saying. I was like, what I asked was, how could this? We understand his situation, right? What makes it particular to him, right? We don't know what really happened right now. Allegedly, he shot police officer. We don't know why. He has his own day in court to prove himself, whatever. But I want to know that language that he's speaking, right? Attaching himself to the Constitution, like you said, right? How could I use that? How could we? Give us a better understanding of what he was saying or what he was trying to use, and why didn't the judge respect it? And, how do you make them respect it?
He wasn't clear. This is a hearing for a bond, but this is what lets you know something. This incident just occurred like maybe 2-3 days ago, maybe.
Yeah, right.
And he already has a bond hearing, so that lets you know that something unique is taking place, because that's fast. Like, they normally don't get a bond hearing within 2-3 days. He wasn't really clear. Like, he was making incomplete statements when he said when he talked about maritime law and he talked about crime is commercial, right? He wasn't clear. He was supposed to say, I am here to challenge the jurisdiction of the court, because that's essentially what he was doing, but he didn't use that verbiage. He's challenging the authority of the courts to prosecute him under the corporation that was created by way of the birth certificate. This is a real thing.
Okay, gotcha. I know, because we speak about this all the time, right? We always talk about this.
Right.
But here's the thing. So this is how important it is, knowledge, the value of knowledge. Not missing one word. You're in that system. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but one wrong phrase or lack thereof can get you in a mental evaluation system, right?
Well,
then,
no.
Like, is that something that seems like what happened though? Right? Tell me though.
Now that's procedure. See, what the procedure has been now for judicial courts, those of us that have been a part of asserting our freedoms, and we have been learning what's been going on through the Obama administration. See, Obama did a lot of work to help us on this, which is acknowledging that there are free peoples that are indigenous to this land, that are melanated people. Everybody is not descendants of slaves from Africa.
Right.
And so during President Obama's administration, Mayor Rahm Emanuel out of Chicago came out with the first public declaration acknowledging this fact. So we got that on record. And then there's also a bill that has come out to also give notice to the Sheriff's Department, Police Department, and FBI to not engage the people with trying to enforce the United States as it was operating as a corporation. So they're basically kind of putting limits on the way that they've been operating because of all of the police killings that's been going on due to traffic stops, because they're enforcing code. But if you read the Constitution and you read what it says about our right to travel and not drive, then you understand they've taken a God-given right to move around and made it a privilege. So this is a very deep discussion, and this goes on in England as well. It's not just here, because you have folks in England and in Canada who are aware of this knowledge, and they're going through their process too, of the people basically saying, hey man, we're going to push back on this. Y'all trying to bully us through a corporation, and y'all making codes and passing them as laws, but they don't align with the foundational principles that we built the country on, which is our God-given rights and our Constitution rights. Yeah.
Go ahead, fam.
Now, I was just saying, this young man has a long road, him and his family, because you saw that they have his family involved in the case too.
They do.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back when we talk about the Constitution and our constitutional rights, right? And how it's used against us, right? The lack of understanding. That's what I was talking about with the amendment with the Kyle Rittenhouse, right? With the school of Satan, right? That stuff is already, but it's like, man, most times we want to detach from it. I understand that, to not attach your heart to it. Don't put your everything in it, but to have an understanding. That's different. That way it can't be used against you. That's all I preach here. And like what you have, you had an understanding of it, right? So, but anyway, here's my question. What would be a better example of someone using this knowledge in the court? Do we have any examples of someone speaking about this and you know, right, and getting out of something or using this that we could, you know, we could evaluate or look at? Like, give me that. Somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this since 2008, which is studying, representing myself in court. I went to the Citizens Police Academy training so I can learn what they are being taught, what the police officers are being taught, and then also to make my face and my name known, right? And so whenever you get pulled over, you have to know what your constitutional rights are. You have to know what the police officers are trying to enforce, which is Tennessee Code annotated, which when you go and get your driver's license, there's a contract that you sign. And so whenever you put your signature on that signature line or that document that you fill out to get your driver's license, you're saying, I agree to be governed by Tennessee Code annotated, right? So I can just give you an example. When you get pulled over by the police, when they first come to your door,
right,
you should make sure that they don't feel threatened by you. So what I do is I put my hands out the window so they can see my hands. They let them know that I'm thinking about their safety and their day-to-day job. So then they'll be more apt to kind of be reasonable with you and then stick to the point, because you don't want to get into an emotional exchange with them. That's pointless. Right. Let's be professional and let's stick to what's going on here. So make sure that they feel safe and they don't feel threatened by you. That's number one. Number two is you ask them, hey, am I under investigation for a crime that's been committed in the area? And if so, is there a witness that reported this to you? And then they say, no, you're not under investigation. No, we don't have a witness that reported a crime to you. Then your next statement is, I should be free to go then. Because I'm not consenting. I'm not consenting to a field investigation. I have not broken any laws. All right. So that's the lineup of the conversation. And then they'll probably try to continue to push with you and say, hey, I need to see your license, registration, Then you'll have to say, I've already stated that if I'm not under investigation and you don't have a witness that has reported that I committed a crime, I should be free to go. So since you want to continue to proceed, I need to talk to your supervisor. And that's when they'll go back to the car and then they'll call for their supervisor. They'll call for their sergeant. Yeah, that's the procedure.
Right.
So you have to know the procedure.
Right.
Yeah, once you know the procedure with interacting with the police and you get the sergeant on the scene, now you got somebody who's been on the force for a longer period of time, who has more experience than just the officer that's pulling you over.
Right,
so
he doesn't know anything.
Now you're safe.
Right.
Well, they know something, because you could get somebody that's pulling you over that's been on the force for 10 years, but they're doing a traffic stop.
I don't think, for the most part, right, I don't think cops really had this understanding. Like, I think cops had their job, their duty, but they don't really know how to, they uphold the state law. I feel like that's their job, to uphold the state law. They don't really uphold, I don't want to say it like that, uphold the Constitution, but I think they value what the state says over the Constitution, to me.
And that's where they're wrong at.
And they're wrong, right, but that's their job, though, right? They have to do it.
No, that's not their job. No, their job is to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee first. That's what they swear in when they leave the academy. So that's first, right? But you have to understand too that these police precincts have been operating off of procedures for quite some time. So we have been uprooting some of these procedural behaviors over the years, right? Because we went from overt racism to now it's not as overt as it was 40, 50 years ago. You know what I mean? It used to be terrible with the police officers. They would violate your rights. They would assault you, not even arrest you, and assault you, take whatever they want from you. Like, it was terrible. So I'm saying this is something we had to work on over a period of time. And so this is just another element is we have to now change the way that the police officers have been operating. And all of these police shootings for traffic stops is reason to do it. But we need to know how to interact with them, how to speak with them, what language to use, and what's the procedure for us interacting with them in order to do that. We can't have an emotional discussion on the side of the road, is what I'm saying. You got to go to court.
You have to understand. You can't be emotional. Like I said, you got to have an understanding, knowing, like, okay, they're wrong, I'm winning. We got to know when we're winning. And we're going to ultimately lose our life. It's not worth us losing our life on it. So just know that. So we got to get out of it. Number one goal is to make it home. Then you get paid. Right? I gotta drop the
Okay.
We're coming to get our check.
I had to let them know.
I'm gonna let you get back to the show.
But yeah, I appreciate that, brother. You know, I needed you to touch on that. And when we touch back next time you come back, maybe we can show some examples of this working. And I'll let you, try and go over it for the chat mob in the game.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can share more because I have had some examples where I went to court and I represented myself for tickets that was given to me and I didn't sign those tickets. Of course, I had to draft up my document prior to going to court. You have to mail in your document, certified mail, to the county clerk's office. General sessions is what tickets are normally held under. And then you have to basically challenge the jurisdiction of the court for this particular ticket. So you have to support it with evidence, and you have to be able to verbally talk to the judge and defend your position. And so after I did that 3 times, I stopped getting pulled over. And I had been getting pulled over in Nashville, for 7 years straight, where they were suspending my license and just racial profiling me. That's what drove me to study, because I was being racial profiled and I was being extorted out of money. I was married at the time, had a son, and and there was money that was coming out of my home to pay for tickets and reinstatement fees for charges that should have been. So
that's the goal.
I got fed up, and as you continue to make yourself known and you learn the procedures, you'll get put on a do not pull over list. So they won't just pull you over for a random traffic stop anymore if they come behind you. They'll run your plates, and then they'll have a little notation.
The biggest gang communicates. It's the biggest gang.
Yeah.
So yeah, they communicate. They are a community. They don't lack communication at all. It's life or death with them, so they gotta communicate with each other.
So I mean, it's not like this is a country. Like, we live in America, so we live in a country that is super intelligent and highly advanced. So there are other operations that go on when you interact with police officers, other than just the traffic stop too. Because you could have people that's coming over here from other countries, and they could be terrorists. You know what I mean? So you gotta understand from that perspective too, that there could be another operation running, through an area that they suspect somebody who's a terrorist to be. You know what I mean? And they could be running on the lead. So that's something you have to factor into your daily walk in society too, is that we live in a country that's huge, it's organized. There are different systems that protect us from having people come over here and do crazy stuff. We take stuff like that for granted, but you go to other countries, man, it's really tragic, on a daily basis. Whereas we've experienced tragedy like a bombing or something, it's like few and far between. But you got some countries, this stuff happens every week where something's getting bombed.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they experience tragedies on a regular basis. Like, so we have to be considerate of that too. Understand that we live in a country that is far advanced at preventing terrorist type of acts. But and stick to the point that you just don't want to be bullied. You are an American, because it's okay to use the term American, because this land was called America prior to the British coming over, right? So that's just knowing history. But you are an American. You don't want to be bullied. You want to be free, and that's what the Constitution states. You're not seeking to harm anyone. You're not seeking to steal anybody's property. So you should be left alone, right? That's the argument. That doesn't make you an extremist. That doesn't make you a sovereign citizen. Because
Yeah, they're
those
gonna
are
label you though.
this word. Yeah, that's
right.
a this
They're gonna
word.
label you though, right? We gotta.
Right.
The people need a better understanding of. That's what we're here for, right? Just to try to know that when you hear this language and they hit you with this title and this tag, don't buy it. Understand that the next step after they tag. See, this is what we got to work on. After you show up in court and you say this and you're hit with that, and then the people believe this. This is what you do next, right? Because I don't think people know what to say initially. But I don't really think people know the next steps because I'm talking about myself to know the steps after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You have to actually go to a class in the community. You know, back in 2008, all the way up to 2015, we were actually having classes. And so we were having classes, we had homework, and then we had homework where we had to go out and to apply the information that we were learning. But you know, this is information that we're learning that we should have learned in civics class when we were in seventh and eighth grade.
Right.
So you know, this is something that you have to be diligent about. If you're serious about learning it, then you definitely have to commit yourself. But we need to create an alternative educational environment, educational venue where we can arrange a curriculum to walk people into gaining this understanding in an orderly fashion so that we're not scatterbrained, but we have a clear, methodical process that we introduce this information to people with.
Yeah, let them understand this like we understand football and basketball.
Exactly.
Like we know NBA stats. For real.
Yeah.
I'm talking about myself included, right? Like that'll be the value in that, right? Just get some dopamines off that, off the knowledge. But yeah, brother, we gonna close it down. I appreciate you, brother. Much love, man. You always hitting us with the info, bro.
No doubt, man.
All right, fam.
Shout out to the mob. Shout out to the chat mob, man. No doubt, man.
For sure.
Be blessed.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
All right, peace.
All right. Yeah, that was, man, great information, man. Great information. Because I always want to know about what are the next steps, right? What are the next steps? Like the Kyle Rittenhouse, was y'all just playing dominoes or was it just major move? And you know, we go back full circle. Who is your dope dealer? Let me read this chat mob comments, right? Before we get out of here. But without us being improper, personal, actually unified under nationality or representation that is recognized worldwide, we are calling ourselves black. What do we unify under is the question. I love that conversation, right? Because in my studies about Malcolm, what he was doing, he was starting the black nationalists, right? Trying to get us that money that's owed. He was assassinated before that could happen. He was coming to get our check, right? He also said he's speaking truth, right? Especially when he said the thing about your signature, and you get to also understand we have a circumvent the strawman which ties us to those bottom-reached instruments, right? So I get what he's saying. He's talking about, oh yeah, Social Security and signature and all of these things ties to it. It makes us pretty much ownership of own like items. I heard him talking about that. I heard him saying it, but the judge played, I don't know what the hell you talking about. Go get him evaluated. So that's what I wanted brother to touch on, the necessary steps after. All right. But yeah. Who is your dope dealer? Hopefully it's your family if it's anybody. If it's not you, hopefully it's your old lady, your kids. Hopefully they are your dopamine dealers. That's what I want to leave y'all with. Something to think about. Who is my dope dealer? What makes me happy? What makes me tick? Hopefully it's the good old mob. Right? But yeah. I just had that question for you. You know what I'm saying? You already know how we do, man. Memphis over bull. every Wednesday live. Y'all keep on. Watch where you get your dopamine from, right? Next week we might talk about serotonin, right? Anyway, like I always say, man, love y'all. You love yourself. That being said, it is the mob. We come.